Evening, everybody. Welcome to our presentation about the benefits of attending DVC. We do have three presenters this evening, so we are going to first introduce ourselves and then we will go over the format of the presentation and a couple of housekeeping items. So my name is Sarah Proctor. I'm the Interim Senior Program Coordinator of Welcome and Connect Services, and I am joined by my colleagues, Cyrique.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cyrique. I'm one of the program coordinators with Welcome and Connect Services. Nice to meet y'all.
And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephen Nguyen. I serve as the manager of Career and Transfer Services.
So this evening we're going to go over some general information about DVC and transfer. Throughout the presentation, if you do have questions, you can use the QR code here. It will take you to a form where you can enter questions. We will go over those questions at the end of the presentation. If we are not able to get to your questions in the time that we have for this presentation, we will be collecting your email addresses so that we can respond to those questions after the presentation is over. So if you give me 1 second, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started. Okay. Tyreek?
Awesome. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about DVC. Let's go to our next slide. A little bit about our college. We are one college, two campuses. We have a location in Pleasant Hill, right down the street from the Sun Valley Mall. But then we have another campus in San Ramon. What's really nice about this, I'll talk about it on the next slide, but we are a really large college, and so this gives you a lot more options to get the classes that you need. So a little bit about our college. We are a very diverse student population, and we have a very large student body. We get about 17,000 students every semester. Specifically, we have a large international student program with students from all over the world, from 60 plus countries. What's really nice about this is I hear it a lot, especially from our incoming high school students. Many people think about a community college as high school 2.0. They think they're going to go to the same classes with the same people they went to high school with, and this is just not going to be the case. We are a very large college. The only way you will have the same classes as the people you went to high school with is if you sat down together and you took the same exact classes. So it's really nice. It's really cool. You get the opportunity to network with people from all over the world. We have a lot of award-winning faculty. A lot of our faculty are very dedicated and very accomplished in their fields. What's nice about this is they specifically come to DVC because they want to teach. They don't want to do as much research. They want to come and they want to be able to get you over to that next step. We also have a lot of hands-on learning opportunities. So, for example, what that means is if anyone's interested in like the culinary program, what's cool about that is you get the opportunity to learn the academic side, but then you get to put it into practice through opportunities like our student-run restaurant. Students get to create the whole menu, they get to cater the restaurant, and it's open to the public. And we have a lot of dedicated staff. People come and work at DVC because we want to see you succeed, whether your goal is to get a degree and transfer on, or maybe you're looking to go into the workforce. We serve all walks of life, and you get that opportunity here. And we also have a lot of transfer pathways. We have pathways to the four-year universities, to the private universities, to our UCs, CSUs, and also out-of-state partners. But we also have a lot of career pathways. If you're interested in like the CTE programs, you can get a certificate, get an associate's degree, and use that to go straight into the workforce. And a lot of people who choose that pathway are very successful. We also have a lot of student clubs and organizations. Specifically at DVC, we have about 60 to 70 active clubs right now. One of the clubs I like to talk about a lot is the Cheese Club. And what's cool about that is they get the opportunity to get that student leadership experience that people are looking for, specifically if your goal is to transfer, but then you get to make it fun. So with our Cheese Club, all they do is they get together, they have cheese and crackers, our college pays for it, and they get to put this on their resume. It's a lot of different opportunities available to you. A little bit about our classes. We have day classes and night classes. If this was in person, I would do a little spiel where I would say, how many of you like to take day classes or night classes? But it's cool because you get the opportunity to choose. I learned very early on that I am not a morning person. You can put me in a 9 a.m. class and I may fall asleep, and that's not what I went to school for. And so what I found is taking night classes worked a lot better for me, especially if I had to work. What's really cool about coming to a community college is the smaller class sizes. This makes it more accessible for you to get that interaction with the teacher. So for instance, when I think of college and I look at it from the entertainment industry, I'm thinking of being in a classroom with 300 to 500 people. And for me as an introvert, that's very nerve-wracking. But when you come to DVC, you're not going to have that interaction. You're going to be in a class size full about 35 people. And if you have a question, you can ask that, and the professor's going to know your first name, and it makes it a lot more accessible. We have a lot of different opportunities for you. You can choose to take in-person classes, you can take them fully online, or you can also take hybrid, which is a mixture of the two. So instead of going to class maybe twice or 3 times a week, you maybe will go to class once a week for a longer period of time, and it makes it a lot more accessible to you. What's also really cool about coming to DVC is you get the opportunity to complete your lower division requirements. We also call this your freshman and sophomore level classes. So that way, when you do those first 2 to 3 years at DVC, you get to transfer on as a junior to a out of state or to that university, particularly with our UCs and CSUs. And we also have a lot of different highlights from our students. If anyone is interested in like learning how to win their arguments or learning how to argue effectively, our speech and debate team is really phenomenal. They just recently won the national championship, and they've been winning that competition for 3 years in a row right now. So they're really well known. We have a brand new art facility at the Pleasant Hill campus. So if you're interested in the arts, we have a student art gallery. This is cool because students make this artwork and it's open to the public. So you get the opportunity to sell your work. As I mentioned earlier, we have that student-run restaurant. I'm a big foodie, so I love coming here, seeing what's on the menu, and then trying it for a cheaper cost. It's really cool. We also have an award-winning newspaper. So if anyone is interested in journalism, you get the opportunity to get those real-life skills and apply them into the real world. And then we also have a lot of excellent athletic programs. We currently have 17 sports teams right now, but what's really nice about this, a lot of our facilities are brand new. So when you come to DVC, especially if you're interested in the art and going into the sports program, you're going to be dealing with brand new facilities. And we also have a student athlete learning program. So a lot of different things going on. Coming to DVC, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but we have 3 different pathways. We have certificates, associate's degrees, and a lot of different transfer pathways. But I'm going to go a little bit into depth on how that can work, specifically if you're interested in certificates. So when you look at certificates, we have 2 types. We have something called a certificate of accomplishment, and then we also have the certificate of achievement. What's nice is we're going to use electrical technology as an example. So let's say you just want to come to DVC, you want to do a semester, get a certificate, and go straight into the workforce. You can do that through this ET program. So if you look at our first one, the certificate of accomplishment, you can do that in a semester, 12 units, 4 classes, and you can use that certificate and go straight into the workforce. What's unique about that certificate of accomplishment is it's college approved. So what that means is we work closely with local industry partners to make sure if you get this certificate, you can get a job locally. But then where the certificate of achievement comes into play, this is a statewide approved certificate. So now by doing another semester, on top of the semester you already did, now you have 2 certificates. One is locally approved, one is statewide approved, and it becomes a situation where you're a lot more marketable. But let's say you decide you're ready to continue and you want to, that's when you can go ahead and get the associate's degree. And you can go ahead and do some more general elective classes, some GEs, and now you have an associate's degree. And this is just going to make you a lot more marketable. But what I like to talk about in this slide specifically is life is going to happen, right? So let's say you are going after your associate's degree, life happens and you have to take a break. If you already did a semester and those semester classes you did is going to allow you to get a certificate, you can walk away with something and that makes you a lot more marketable. So all of our classes tie into each other, which is pretty nice. You also get the opportunity to have a fresh start. You get the chance to reestablish your GPA. One of the things I like to highlight is coming out of high school, I just was a student who didn't take life seriously, specifically my academics. I fell asleep a lot in the classroom. And because of that, I didn't have the highest GPA in high school. I specifically remember my freshman year, I had a zero point 0.5 GPA the first semester and a 1.5 GPA the next semester. They put me on like probation and a whole bunch of things. And what I realized is I ran around with the rumor that, oh, your high school year didn't count. And I ran with it and I lived life. But reality set in right after that. I had to realize I needed to step it up in order to graduate on time. And because of what I did in high school, I didn't have a GPA where I could transfer straight out into the university. But coming to a community college, I got the opportunity to reestablish myself. I was able to get a higher GPA. I was able to get a degree at the associate's level. I was able to transfer to the university, get my bachelor's, I got my master's, and now I'm in law school. So it's a really good opportunity because you get the opportunity to reestablish your GPA. We also do a lot of different workshops on campus, particularly Stephen's office, where you get the opportunity to build those essential skills. Maybe you don't study well. We have workshops that can teach you how to study effectively. Time management is really one of those big things that you learn in college because it's not like high school where your life is kind of structured out. You get the opportunity to have a lot more freedom. And if you don't manage that time effectively, then you're not going to do so hot in high school. So when we have these different workshops on campus, you definitely should attend them because you get the opportunity to build those essential skills. You also get that chance to develop yourself. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities, especially through our volunteer program. When you come to DVC, your goal really is to develop yourself as a leader. And you can do that by joining different clubs, getting involved on campus, and really just growing that network. So it's a lot of different opportunities that way. And if you're undecided, that's totally fine. You get the chance to reestablish yourself. So you can start off by not knowing what you want to do. You just take your general elective class, and that allows you to explore your interests. You get the opportunity to go to our Career and Transfer Center. They can help you find a job on campus, find opportunities off campus, and they can help you figuring out where you want to transfer to. Maybe that's in-state, out-of-state. We have a counseling center that can help you both with your academics, but also your personal side. Maybe you're stressed, you're feeling overwhelmed, and our counseling center can get you to those pathways where you can talk with someone about that. And then we also have these things called student centers. These are pretty much hubs around campus that are based around your major, and it's pretty much a hub. So you can come to this student center, they have snacks, they have food, but they also have tutoring available in that area. And they also have counseling available at the student centers. So there's a lot of different opportunities available to you if you're undecided. We can help in multiple ways.
So I'm going to go over some really important information about paying for college and resources that we have available on campus to our students to help to support them throughout their journey here at DVC. So let's go over a couple of basic things regarding tuition at colleges around the state. So, if you're planning to go to a UC, the cost for tuition is approximately $15,000, or just under $15,000. And that is just for tuition. It doesn't include your housing or the other academic related expenses in uh, regarding paying for school. The CSU system is a little bit lower than that. It's just under $7,000, excuse me, per year, not per semester. But at DVC, for one academic year, it's just over $1,100, $1,104. But there are opportunities at DVC for you to be able to go for free. And that is through a program called the Full-Time Free Tuition Award. I'm going to talk a little bit about how it works in the next few minutes. So, in order to qualify for the free tuition award, you would need to complete the FAFSA or the DREAM Act. You need to enroll in at least 12 units. 12 units is considered a full-time student. You would need to be a California resident or exempt from paying non-resident tuition through a program called AB 540. And then you would need to accept your award through Insight. And after doing these 4 steps, you will get free tuition for up to 2 years. So, going over some basic information, the FAFSA, which is the Federal Application for Free Student Aid, this is based on your family's household income. So, it's possible that based on your household income that you can get free tuition through the state and other aid. But DVC's free tuition award is not based on household income. So if you are a billionaire and you want to come to DVC, you can go for free through the free tuition award if you do the 4 steps that I outlined in the previous slide. So there is free tuition options for students at all economic levels. In addition to financial aid, one of the things that I think is really important to stress and encourage students to look into is scholarships. DVC has a scholarship office that can help support you in the application process for scholarships. There is a common scholarship application, meaning one application that you can apply for, and it will allow you to apply for multiple scholarships at the same time. And what I always tell students is if you never apply for a scholarship, then you definitely will never get one. But if you do apply for scholarships, then you have an opportunity to get free money because there are lots of organizations and businesses that want to support students in their academic journeys by providing scholarships to them. So please check out the scholarship office when you come to DVC. Now, moving more into the resources that we have on campus, Sayri touched on some of this in his part of the presentation, but we just want to highlight that there's a lot of activity on campus. Um, in addition to the student clubs, we have Club Day, they are tabling, they have events on campus. We also have guest speaker series in lots of different disciplines. So you can attend lectures from people in community, in social justice or community health or other programs like that. We have campus performances at our Performing Arts Center. We have a student government that is very robust and active, and they play an active role in making decisions about the college. So there is a lot going on, and in addition to the coursework that you're taking, you'll be able to find a very robust student life environment here at DVC. I do want to highlight one of the programs that would get you involved, and that is our Student Ambassador Program. This is a leadership program on campus. Our student ambassadors help with tours, they help with social media, they help students get enrolled, they help support events that we have on campus. And so, if this is something that you or your student might be interested in, definitely come check out our website and we can direct you in how to apply for this program. Before I wrap up my session, my part of the presentation, I want to go over a couple of really important things regarding support. Um, DVC has an extremely supportive environment that will help provide wraparound services to you or your student throughout your time at DVC. We have academic and personal counseling, people that will be able to walk you through the classes that you need, but also support you if you are struggling in some way and you need support. We have learning communities like Puente and Emoja. Cyrique mentioned the athletics learning communities. Learning communities are programs designed for specific groups of students, and students take those classes, they take classes together. They also have events and counseling that are specific to these learning communities. And it's a great opportunity to build community and get support through your academic journey at the same time. We have programs like EOPS, CARE, and Next Up to support students who have particular economic needs. These programs will provide book vouchers and support counseling to help develop a a robust wraparound service to support you throughout your time at DVC. If you have an IEP or a 504, we have disability support services. Um, Stephen's fantastic team is career and transfer. They have, Stephen's going to talk a lot more about transfer, but their office provides so many wonderful workshops and services around helping students identify careers and help them with the transfer process. There, there's free tutoring on campus in all disciplines. We have basic needs support, so we have people to help you with a housing need if that is something that you're in need of. We have a food pantry on campus that's completely free. And library services that offer not only support in helping you to do research and find books that you might need, but there's a library technology loan. So if you need a laptop or one of those fancy co- calculators that you use in calculus, you can check those out for free from the library. So when I look at this slide, I really want people to know that there is a lot of support and you are not alone when you come to DVC. Finally, I want to go over one last piece of information, and that is related to your information being secure. So, DVC is protected under FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. And what this means is that Diablo Valley College employees are prohibited from sharing student information with anyone. So if there's any information that you are concerned about being disclosed to the public, to even some people within the DVC, our information is kept private. So you can feel confident that that information cannot be shared with anybody but you, the student. But for the parents out there, this also includes the parents. So as your student is transitioning to DVC, they are becoming responsible for their records, for their enrollment, and for the other things related to their account. So when they call in, they will need to make sure that it's them doing that work. Of course, you can be there to support them along the way. And finally, if you need any help, we have lots of support available to you through our website. Please give us a call or send us an email. We're here to help you. I am now going to transfer it over to Stephen, and he's going to share a lot of helpful information about transfer.
All right, thanks, Sarah, and good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you all and share with you some information about transferring. I know right now decisions have gone out for a lot of colleges, and this is a time where you're thinking about what's next for us as a family, or even the child or your child in the next step. And so I think my colleagues and I are here to present the benefits of coming to DVC and in particular transferring. A lot of individuals don't know about transfers unless you have personal experience with the transfer process. And so today I want to be able to break it down for you. Go ahead and go to the next slide. As I mentioned, I'm Stephen Nguyen. I serve as the manager of career and transfer services. Before my time here at DVC, I actually worked at UC Berkeley for about 10 years. So I got to see both sides of the transfer process, seeing students going on to four-year universities, studying abroad, getting internships, and graduating and getting great paying jobs. And a message I want to share with you all today is that transfer is possible. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see the different options that we have. One of the great things about living in California, besides our great weather, not today, it's rainy, is just the vast amount of schools that are available. So on the left side of the screen, you'll see there the UC system. There are 9 undergraduate campuses that DVC students can transfer to. On the right side, you will see our CSU or our Cal State universities. There are 23 California State universities that students can transfer to. So over at least 30 public universities. We're not even talking about private and out of state, but these are kind of our big schools that a lot of students transfer to. And I want to share with you a number. If you go on to the next slide, here are actual numbers that we got last year in terms of transfer. So this is from DVC. So here at DVC, we had 900 students or 900 DVC students transfer and enrolled at a UC, and about 680 transferred and enrolled at a California State University. So these are actual students, and these are figures I think we want to put into perspective, right? To humanize kind of the transfer process, and to help you understand that transfers does work. Look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie for themselves. So in terms of understanding the transfer process, what is the transfer process, right? Um, so we talked about the DVC years as like your freshman and your sophomore year. And so to kind of understand the transfer process, you will start your journey here at Diablo Valley College, hopefully, and you will take 60 to 70 transferable semester units. And those are considered our lower division units. And so a student who decides to go to a four-year university right after high school would do similar, the same amount of work. Let's say at UC Davis or UC Merced, UC Riverside, etc. They're essentially doing lower division work, which they will do here at DVC. Now, to get a bachelor's degree, which is the end goal for students now, is 120 semester units. So you essentially would do the other half of your coursework at your dream school, whether that's a UC, a CSU, a private, an out-of-state university. You would complete the second half of your bachelor's degree at that institution. So starting here at DVC, you're finishing the first circle or the first half of the 120, and then you'll complete the second half at your dream university. So on a 30,000-foot level, that's what the transfer process looks like, and kind of how it works. So go on to the next page, you'll see the actual what comprises of 60 units. And again, we won't go through every single slide today, and it's nuanced. Every student's going to be a little bit different, but wanted to paint you a picture. So how do we get to 60 units? So of the 60 units, 39 of those units would be general education. And that would be like your math class, your English class, your communication class, right? These are general education that every student should be taking. You will also spend some time, roughly about 10 to 30 units, depending on your major, preparing for your major. So DVC is a really great option if you don't necessarily know what your major is, right? And we know that students change their majors around 3 times on paper. And so DVC is a really great option for students to start exploring different majors. Is math for me? Is science for me? Is it social science? Is it arts and humanities? What is a particular major that fits my liking and my style of learning? And so Diablo Valley College is really great in helping students explore those particular options. And if you have any more space in your 60 units, you would be taking electives. And as Sarah mentioned before, we have so many different classes here that you could choose from. And so if they don't fit into the other 2 boxes, they're essentially electives. So it could be a sculpture class, it could be a PE class, it could be a class around jewelry. And that's something that you actually like, and you're taking it for electives and getting your 60 units for you to transfer. One website that we want to have everyone familiar with, which is Assist, and it's on the next slide. And so if you have your phone, you can scan the QR code, or I listed the website there, assist.org. And assist.org is a tool that is used in terms of articulation. And so it's a very fancy word. What articulation means is it translates what a class here at DVC equates to at a four-year university. So the one note that I'll make here is Assist only works with our public universities. So UCs and CSUs, they are rolling out more private colleges. So this year you'll see some private colleges on there, like University of the Pacific in Stockton, St. Mary's in Moraga. So they are slowly bringing on the private universities, but primarily it was made with the UCs and the CSUs in mind. And this is a really great tool to help you understand which classes are similar to the classes at a four-year university. So again, your experience here at DVC and your experience at at four-year university should be very similar, if not the same. On the next slide, you'll see just kind of the requirements to apply to transfer. And again, we won't get into that today because it is very nuanced, but kind of on a 30,000-foot level scale, you'll see that our California State universities have four requirements called the Golden Four. And then the UC campuses have a 7-course pattern, which you see on the screen. There's variance in GPA. 2.0 and 2.4. And again, these are minimum GPAs. These are just minimum numbers. Some of the competitive universities may require a higher GPA than the one that is listed on the screen. So it's important to note that. Wanted to share with you some wonderful programs that are available to transfer students. And that first is the TAG program. And let me just take a step back and say that guarantees don't happen anywhere else besides for transfer students. And so we really want to emphasize that the UCs and the CSUs really love transfer students, right? There isn't a guarantee for freshmen, right, as it exists now. And so that says a lot about what transfers bring to both our UCs and our CSU partners. So for the TAG program, you're guaranteed admissions to one of the six campuses. There are again 9 UC campuses. So Berkeley, LA, and San Diego are not a part of the TAG program. So you can't tag to those schools. You can still apply via regular admissions, but you cannot tag. And you must complete like particular requirements, and we won't go through those details today. But essentially, you're guaranteed admissions before you even apply. So that's a really great program. The other program that we want to talk about is ADTs. So if you come to DVC and you get an ADT, you'll get guaranteed admissions to the CSU system. One of the guarantees that it guarantees you is that you will spend no more than 60 units to get your bachelor's degree, which is really huge. So that means you should be able to graduate from a CSU within 2 years. And that's a guarantee, right? You'll get a GPA bump and you will be admitted as a junior. So those are some advantages of the ADT program. On the next slide, you'll see all of the ADTs that currently DVC offers. There's about 30 ADTs that we do offer. We are working to expand this list every single semester. So maybe by the time you come to DVC, we'll have 40 ADTs that are available. But currently, those are the ADTs that are available to students right now. So on the next slide, you'll see kind of just the admission timeline. I know this says UC, but it also applies to the CSU system as well. So for the application timeline, you typically apply 1 year in advance. So if you're applying for transfer fall 2026, you would apply for admissions, right, the year before. So you would be applying this upcoming semester. This coming fall. So October 1 through November 30th is when the application opens. That's when you want to go ahead and submit an application. Similarly to your experience in high school, if you applied for admissions, you apply a year in advance. And so our office, as Sarah mentioned earlier, helps students with the application process. We also help students taking students on college tours and helping them understand the different universities that are available. I just came back from Southern California. I was there last week on spring break, took 50 students around down in LA, and all expenses were paid for all the students. So that was a really great experience for the students. So we definitely help students in that aspect. The next 2 slides you'll see is QR codes. Sorry, we love QR codes here at DVC. So the first QR code is for the UC system. It's our transfer admission planner. So if you take your phone and scan this QR code, this takes you to our planner and it allows you to create an account and it allows you to communicate with the UC system. So you can create a profile and then you can say, I'm interested in transferring to these particular UC campuses, right? And the UC campuses can communicate with you. They'll send you emails to say, come to our campus for open house or all the different things that are available. On the next slide, if you're interested in the CSUs, The CSUs have something called the CSU Transfer Planner, which is very similar. So similar to the UC Transfer Academic Planner, the CSU Transfer Planner also allows you to do the same. It also allows you to add classes. So you can add your transcripts, and as you continue on with your transfer process, it will tell you which requirements you're still missing, right? And are you eligible to transfer? So it's a really great tool that the CSU system has created. So that's all I have today for our presentation around transferring, and definitely, what starts with coming to DVC as the first step. And we're happy to answer questions that you may have about attending DVC, transferring, and the whole process.
Tyreek, do we have questions?
I'm looking and we do not.
So this presentation has been recorded and it will be on our YouTube page. So if you do want to review this information, it will be posted within the next week on our YouTube page for you to review. If you do not have any questions, we can end our webinar. I want to thank everybody for their attendance and thanks Cyrique and Stephen for your time this evening and all the important information that you shared. We appreciate it so much. Thank you. Okay. And